So that was really annoying what just happened. Um, I was ready to go before 6. I had a couple minutes to spare. Went to, you know, go ahead and start the stream. And curiously, uh, might say randomly, peculiarly, my Google account was signed out. And I had to do the whole phone verify it's you thing. And then, oh, we detected suspicious activity. You need to change your password. So go through the whole password change thing. Then I have to sign in, of course, on the computer with a new password. And then, of course, because it's the first sign in, it's got to do the phone verification. Which number is this? How many fingers are we holding up? 81. And now finally, they, they, of course, they delayed my start of my stream again. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Is this even right? Where is it? What happened? We are open at 6 today, right? It's not a holiday or nothing. Maybe I should just sign out, sign back in, of of Thinkorswim, and then I'll tell you. In the meantime, I guess since I'm signed back into Google, ah, we can come over here and find out. Well, is AMC partnering with
What is
Elon Musk? Let's
What
find
is going
out.
on, guys? Lottery Socks here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new. First of all, happy Sunday. Hopefully you are all enjoying your weekend. Today, I want to touch on AMC and Elon Musk and then some more stuff on AMC before we get into next week. Without further ado, all I ask you guys to do is hit the like button. It helps me out. Hit the subscribe button if you want to join the fam on this journey to financial freedom. Now let's get into the video. Before we touch on Elon Musk, a couple things fundamentally good about AMC coming up to this earnings. Adam Aaron tweeted, "In the early weeks, our popcorn has been selling briskly. Starting this coming weekend, AMC Perfectly Popcorn will start
Briskly,
rolling
huh?
out broadly on the shelves of 2,600
Brisky,
Walmart stores
broadly.
across the United States. I expect we will sell millions of units annually at Walmart alone." Now, he specifies at Walmart alone, basically stating that they are going to expand even further to other stores. 2,600 stores is huge, stating that he expects they will sell millions of units, which could mean a lot more than millions of dollars. Of course, this isn't going to show up for just Q1 earnings, but what will is the crazy box office that has been hitting for AMC. So give yourself a round of
Oh,
applause because this
crazy
box
box
office is
office.
absolutely insane. Now, touching on Elon Musk, correlating it to AMC. Adam Aaron has tweeted plenty of times, checkmate. He kind of comes out and states that as if he's playing chess with the short sellers who are short amongst his company. Well, Elon Musk basically just came out and tweeted checkmate, and he left no further strings attached to it. So a lot of people are thinking that this is correlated to AMC, this is correlated to Adam Aaron. Now, of course, it's not only that, and of course, a lot of apes have some theories, tinfoil hats, but in the past, Elon Musk tweeted that there's something special about enjoying movies in a theater with total strangers. I hope that never goes away. This is also another reason why it would be hinting towards AMC, right? He says there's a special thing about movie theaters and he hopes they never go away. This is around the same time where there was a lot of talk about AMC filing for bankruptcy, so on and so forth, and he kind of just threw that out there. Now, on top of that, Elon Musk has been fighting with the SEC and regulators for quite some time now. He recently tweeted, "Tesla will continue to use outside litigators, but it's most important to build a powerful litigation team internally so that we're not always on the defensive. We'll also go after the Wall Street short sellers, certain law firms, and sometimes corrupt the regulators who are the true evil." So Tesla and Elon Musk are using outside litigators basically to build up a powerful team to go against the SEC,
Ah,
go after Wall Street short sellers and certain law firms, as well as some corrupt regulators, which is something that the AMC community has been trying to do for quite some time now.
right. Okay, of course. Now, I'm not sure what's going on with TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim, because I'm not getting the futures data for some reason. Don't know why. I don't know if it's just me or what, but I even was like, well, are the futures even open today? And yeah, there's nothing on the calendar. And here on TradingView, we can see the NASDAQ futures are trading. So I don't know what's going on. Um, More crime, just more crime. It's all it's ever, just Prime. That's fine. That's fine, whatever. So we'll do it on here, I guess. We'll do it on here. So everything gapping down a little bit. On the NASDAQ, about 0.2%. On the ES&P, it's about 0.2%. On the Russell 2000, it's about 0.3%. The Dow's about 1/8%, roughly. These are rough numbers. Crude oil is down about 0.2. Natural gas is down 0.5%. What is happening? As far as bonds, yields, I should say, the 10-year yield is up. All the yields are up. 30, 20, 10, 5, 2, and 1 years. And we have the 3-month, 2-month, and oh my gosh, the 1-month yield is actually down 6 basis points. And then what else we have here? Oh, Bitcoin and Ethereum are down about 1.25%, between 1.25 and 1.3%. Dollar is about flat. The VIX futures, well, never mind. Yeah. So here comes where it reverses and blasts to all-time highs. Maybe. I don't know if I'm digging this blue. I think I'd rather just go with that. Yeah, I think so. How about that? Oh, yeah, that'll work. Well, of course, that's fraudulent anyway. Okay. So I think the Russell is going to be one to watch this week. Um, and I feel like my scaling's, yeah, knew it was. Oh, of course, they're all going to be ones to watch this week, but it's like I noticed a divergence here. Really? Nine point two four. 99.54. Wow, that is the slightest of slight divergences ever. But technically it is. So I'm looking at, and this is of course in stochastic. So traditionally, I guess, be RSI. And here we can see it more clearly. So the price went up between these 2 points, but the RSI is at a lower level. So we have a price going up, RSI going down ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. But here's another one. Yeah, And I think this exists on the other indices too, possibly. Not there. Not there. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with good old Thinkorswim. Hmm. Okay, there's the volatility futures. VIX futures up, what, 88 hundredths of a percent. Okay, great. Okay. Well, okay.
Except Elon Musk has the power and the money to do it. Following us up,
Ah,
just to add on something crazier,
does he?
all of the AMC community, Bed Bath & Beyond, GameStop community
Is that
has
what we're saying?
Elon Musk. You know he has seen some tweets by us and some tweets with what has happened with us, and
Oops.
everybody knows about the GameStop event that happened in 2021. Well, first of all, just some news on Bed Bath & Beyond. Bed Bath & Beyond has officially filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, but Elon Musk tweeted under this and he said it has gone full beyond. Now, take this with a grain of salt, take this with what you will, but Adam Aaron commenting under one of the meme stocks after hinting all of these things towards AMC, towards Adam Aaron, so on and so forth, is just interesting to see that he even has this on his feed. Something about Bed Bath & Beyond, talks about movie theaters, so on and so forth. Overall, you guys let me know in the comments what you think about Adam Aaron and Elon Musk's outlook towards movie theaters. Is this all a bunch of BS? And does this mean absolutely nothing? What do you think about his checkmate tweet? And what do you think about his movie theater tweet, as well as him going after Wall Street short sellers? Now, the reverse split lawsuit is coming up soon, as well as the conversion, so on and so forth. Adam Aaron recently talked at a movie theater. This just happened. This tweet says he...
Oh, AMC liars. 3 viewers now. Great job, Scott. You fucking cuck. Oh, okay. Well, thanks a lot. Hey, AMC liars.
You're being a little bitch. You're being a little bitch.
And, you know, if you don't understand the situation, it's better sometimes not to speak and just be proven a complete imbecile in the matter. Okay, so is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying it? What are you saying? Huh?
What are you saying, huh? Huh. Okay, that was fun. Fun diversion.
He is trying to emphasize the importance of dilution. It improves the fundamentals, but importantly, it also causes shorts to try and cover through it. Diluting small amounts with high buy pressure can cause it to rip. In January, the float went from 100 to 500 million, yet price went $2 to $20, quadrupled in value. Now, this is an interesting clip of Adam Aaron talking, and this just happened. He's basically saying, shareholders, I'm doing this reverse split so you can see that shorts are going to run the price up. Right before I play this 2-minute clip for you guys, if you want up to 15 free stocks, use my link down below.
No, signals. I don't want 15 free stocks.
Let's roll the clip.
We put up,
and neither should anybody else. Okay, here we go.
I am in there on the daily, as well as post gain, post losses, so on and so forth. Let's roll the clip.
we put out the press release the Monday morning before the market opened. That's off the table. Stock exploded to $5. Now, a $2 price increase doesn't sound like a lot. But $2 on $3, that's up 66% in a day. That's a lot. That was Monday.
That's when I got it.
On the Wednesday.
Oh, good. That's when you got in.
Closed Tuesday at $5.
Do you hear that jackass in there? That's when I got in. What a tool. AMC liars. You should be ripping these people apart.
That was Monday.
That's when I got it.
On the Wednesday.
That's when I got in. Oh my God.
That was Monday.
That's when I got it.
On the Wednesday.
That's when I got in. These people are so fucking cringe. Oh my God. Oh my God.
We also closed Tuesday at $5. On the Wednesday.
That's when I should have gotten out.
It closed at $20. It quadrupled in one day. And the trading volume in AMC stock was so ridiculous. At that time, we had 100 million shares outstanding. On the New York Stock Exchange on the Wednesday, we had 100 million shares outstanding, but at that time, we were a majority owned by a Chinese company, the largest movie theater chain in China. They had 50 million shares, and they never traded a one. Now they bought AMC in 2013. They got out in 21, so they're long gone. We're all American today, as we were when we were founded 100 years ago in Kansas City. But so we only had 50 million shares. That
I guess
traded.
they were immigrants, but okay.
They never sold a one. On that Wednesday, January 27 of 2021, the trading volume in AMC stock was 1,250,000,000 shares. We only have 50 million shares. It meant that like the entire ownership of AMC was turning over every 20 minutes on the New York Stock Exchange.
But we weren't.
And the stock went from 5 to 20.
But we weren't.
That was the arrival of the
Wow.
And I know that there are maybe 2 people in this auditorium tonight
I mean, he's not.
who came to see Mafia Mom.
We have to see what the short interest was then. What was the
Before we
short
close out
interest
the
then?
video, we know XRP, AMC, Ethereum Classic have correlation. Well, keep your eyes peeled for Judge Torres. The verdict is next week, on Wednesday that is, telling if XRP is a security or not, and XRP is not a security, so the SEC will most likely lose the case, according to Wall Street Bulls on Twitter, which means that AMC could follow a rip/sympathy rip following XRP if this does get dropped. Also, this is sketchy,
Sympathy
as the
rip.
US Fed may reverse rules that masked losses on SVB securities. US Federal Reserve is considering ending an exemption that has allowed certain mid-sized banks to conceal losses on securities they hold, the Wall Street Journal reported on Friday, signaling a tightening of bank oversight is in the cards following last month's failures of Silicon Valley Bank. The exemption at issue allows mid-sized banks to not disclose unrealized losses on their holdings of securities designated as available for sale, which has enabled them to inflate the amount of capital they disclose for regulatory reasons, the report said. Citing people familiar with the matter, SVB's unrealized losses on securities such as treasuries and mortgage-backed securities are rising as a result of the Fed's aggressive interest rate increases over the past year that undercut their value, were a key factor in its sudden collapse last month. So basically, the Fed is saying, listen, we don't want these banks to have a major collapse, so we're going to hide their unrealized losses and let them inflate the amount that they say they own instead of actually own. This is basically naked short selling, except the Fed is about to pass something that is going to allow it. Basically, I'm looking for a loan, right? I'm going to go to a bank, and if this was passed on the public side, I could say, listen, I make 300 grand a year, all right? I make 300 grand a year, and I have no debts. Boom, they're going to write me a nasty pre-approval loan to go get a house. So why is it fair that banks are about to be allowed to do this, but we can't do that to them? Before we close out the video,
Because you suck. Because you're not a bank. Like, okay, so I'm looking at, let's see here. I'm trying to get the short interest from January 2021. So this says 44 million shares, 15.75% of float. So not really that much. Not that much. That, of course, this says January 31st. So, um, sorry. Okay, so I guess, so never mind. My point is invalid.
10,000 investors demand Citadel secure this, but
All
we
right.
can't do that to them. Before we close out the video, 10,000 investors demand Citadel Securities be banned from the stock market, and Ken Griffin's fraud investigation continues. 10,000 people has voted so far that Ken Griffin and Citadel Securities get completely banned from the stock market as a whole, and the number continues to rise, all because
It's too bad that that has no legally binding power anywhere and probably never will. So, and it's not even that, it's a poll. It is a poll, a Twitter poll. Oh, okay. Right.
of
Sure.
market manipulation, conflicts of interest, lack of transparency, and more, as well as potential insider trading. Overall, guys, this is what I got for you for Sunday's video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching or found value out of the video. Love you all. Lottery stocks out.
Oh, God. Low float and low price made it easier to influence AMC stock price. Indeed, it did. And let's see here. Good luck moving 1 billion shares with no money. Well, yeah, basically, yep. There's no way that I can't remember my, okay. Why would they want securities banned? They want no one to trade. They want CPI and CCI to tank. They want to fuck everyone because they are ignorant. Yeah, well, don't you know, Lynn, the goal of short sellers is to drive companies into bankruptcy. That's that's it, you know? That's the point. That's why they do it. So, you know, come on, get with the program. Let's see here. I don't like the way this is done. Okay, according to all right, so now this is a site called macrotrends.com. It's just one that I found that has got this data. This is AMC shares outstanding on a chart and in a table format. So Adam Aaron said that there were 100 million shares outstanding in January of 2021. According to this, as of December 31st, 2020, there were 234 million shares outstanding of AMC. Um, so there's that. And then it says that there were 400 million outstanding by March 31st. And he said Wanda owned 50 million, but they didn't trade any of them. I mean, as if that means that they, that they're not trading, like that those shares aren't being traded. So, let's see. See if I can find that. Okay, so this is from February 1st, 2021. That's pretty darn close. Okay, AMC Entertainment Holdings, Schedule 13D. AMC Class A Common Stock. Wanda America Entertainment. Schedule 13D, names of reporting persons, Wanda America Entertainment Incorporated. Shared voting power, 30,455,290. 6.8% ownership. Okay, this is another division, same shared voting power. Same thing here. Same thing here. Same thing here. And here. All shared voting power. And that's it. Amendment is being filed by Wanda and America Entertainment. Yada, yada, yada. Amends the statement on 13D originally filed on September 2018. Wanda. Oh no, AMC Entertainment Holdings, Delaware Corporation. As of the date of this schedule, the reporting persons beneficially own an aggregate of 30.4 million Class A shares, or 6.8%. So this says here that there were 450 million shares outstanding as of March 11th, 2021. Let's see. As reported in the current report on Form 8K filed by the issuer, that means AMC, on January 27th, 2021, affiliates of Silver Lake Group LLC and certain co-investors, collectively the note holders, elected to convert $600 million worth of the issuer's 2.95% senior convertible secured notes due 2026 into shares of Class A common stock at a conversion price of $13.51 per share. Conversion settled on January 29th and resulted in the issuance of 44 million shares of common stock to the note holders. Pursuant to a stock repurchase and cancellation agreement between the issuer and Wanda America Entertainment dated September 2018, 5.6 million shares of Class B common stock held by Wanda were forfeited and canceled in conjunction with the conversion by note holders on January 29, 2021. Okay, so then they converted the remaining amount, I guess. They converted all of the Class B shares that they held into Class A shares. So that's another 46 million. Then then they sold 2 million. And they sold 1.5 million. Then they sold 12 million on, okay. So that conversion was done on February 1st. So I guess we don't know based on this what they had on the 27th. But anyway, I'm just trying to verify the numbers that he was throwing out. I don't think that they're correct, to be honest. But anyway, because AMC had more than 100 million shares authorized or outstanding at the time. But okay, never close their position. That's right, Ron. Never close it. Everything CEO Adams says is code for please shut the fuck up and stop tagging me on Twitter. Model 3 dude. Oh my God, they're still harping on the Wanda thing. It's done. They want a Groundhog's Day with alternate endings. Straight from the horse's mouth. Okay, you got me. Oops. Let's do it.
So, anyway.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Forgot about this.
After that press release, the craziest thing happened. You guys showed up.
Yeah.
So I want to see what happened to our stock in that January. It was $1.91 in early January. $1.91, that's pretty low. The Friday before we put out the press release that said bankruptcy off the table, the stock was at $3. We put out the press release the Monday morning before the market opened, bankruptcy off the table, stock exploded to $5. Now, a $2 price increase doesn't sound like a lot, but $2 on $3, that's up 66% in a day. That's a lot. That was Monday. On the Wednesday, it also closed Tuesday at $5. On the Wednesday, it closed at $20. It quadrupled in one day. And the trading volume in AMC stock was so ridiculous. At that time, we had 100 million shares outstanding.
So not according to anything else, but there's the guy back there with the phone. That's what we were watching before, but I like this one way better. Thanks, Model 3 dude.
Oh, I'm sorry. We had 100 million shares outstanding, but at that time, we were majority owned by a Chinese company, the largest movie theater chain in China. They had 50 million shares, and they never traded a one. Now they bought AMC in 2013. They got out in 21, so they're long gone. We're all American today, as we were when we were founded 100 years ago in Kansas City.
And like I said, sort of, because they were immigrants, but whatever.
So we only had 50 million shares that actively traded, because the Chinese company had 50 million shares and they never sold a one. On that Wednesday, January 27 of 2021, the trading volume in AMC stock was 1,250,000,000 shares. We only had 50 million shares. It meant that like the entire ownership of AMC was turning over every 20 minutes on the New York Stock Exchange.
But we weren't.
And the stock went from 5 to 20.
Synthetics.
And that was the arrival.
Synthetics, yes.
And I know that
Oh yeah, that's right.
there are
God.
maybe 2 people in this auditorium tonight who came to see Mafia Mama. And they don't have a clue why this guy in the Norwegian sweater is interrupting your movie. But the rest of you, like you're apes, right?
Yeah.
Of course they are.
So
She's not. They're not over
you
there.
guys arrived, and I know when. It was January 20th.
Actually, they weren't immigrants. They were born in Pennsylvania, but for some of us, that's about the same.
2021. And it's now April of 2023. And you're still here.
And we're not leaving.
And I got to tell you what you did. Because you
You,
should be very proud. First of all, you attach yourself to a really good company. And 200 million times a year, we make people smile. Because we get you out of your house, and we get you to a place, and for like, oh, thank you. Oh, is this working? Ah, hopefully, no?
wow, this is long.
I just want to give you a couple of dollars to March 14. Because we had a big shareholder vote. And if you win, like, you're just going to put us back in the crapper again. Well, we sat down with the plaintiffs' attorneys, and we came up with a very quick settlement.
Okay, here we go. He's talking about the settlement.
And I kept on thinking, are these people crazy? Because the shareholders just voted to save the company. And if you win, like, you're just going to put us back in the crapper again. Well, we sat down with the plaintiffs' attorneys, and we came up with a very quick settlement. And the settlement which is actually a pretty good settlement. I kind of, I'm glad we were able to do this because it gave us an excuse to do it. In the settlement, we're giving free, tax-free too, by the way, extra shares to the common shareholders. Because the plaintiff said, oh, well, you sold so many shares of the ape at a cheap price, so the common shareholders, they saw a lot of the ownership of the company drift towards the preferred shareholders. And we rectified that by just with a, magic wand. Okay, well, we'll just give some more shares to the common.
Like synthetics almost.
More, and everybody's
Except
happy. And the plaintiff's lawyers thought that was great, and we thought it was great. And the common shareholders could like it because you're getting extra shares. And so
Nope.
we went to the judge and said, Your Honor, like we settled the case, there's no more lawsuit. Will you please approve it? And the judge said, well, she didn't say whether she would approve it or not, but she said, like, I want to do this the normal way. And the normal way in Delaware is it takes 2 to 4 months to approve a settlement. So we'd ask the judge, could you do it in a week? And the judge said, no, you said yes, but she said no. So she said, we're doing it the normal way. So we had this vote, we won the vote, we settled the case, but nothing is going to happen until the judge in Delaware approves the settlement, which I guess is going to happen in a couple of months. So right now it's status quo, right? APE's still traded in the New York Stock Exchange. AMC shares, common shares, traded in the New York Stock Exchange. They haven't been put together yet. There's no reverse stock split.
Oh, you mean the reverse stock split that you said you'd never do? He didn't say he would never do it.
Approves the settlement, which sometime in the next, I wouldn't say days or weeks, but probably months, but not like 20 months. Like,
Yay, great.
3, 4 months, something like that.
God, 2, 3 more months of this bullshit.
Actually implement your suggestions. And when we do that, I said
on top of getting it shorted down to nothing.
The caveat is we need this judge to approve the settlement. But when she does, if she does, but when she does, I hope she does, that means that I know in my heart of hearts, for the first time in 3 years, I can relax. Because I will know then that we made it. Because no matter what the world throws at us, bubonic plague, dengue fever, whatever the world throws at us, we'll be able to raise the money we need to survive it. And at the same time that that's going on, the box office is rising. And there are a lot of big movies coming out in 2021. I mean, a lot. Super Mario Brothers. Like, it's done half its
2021.
$1 billion just in the U.S.
What is he talking about? This is from what? He just said 2021, didn't he? What the fuck?
Coming out. Office is rising. And there are a lot of big movies coming out in 2021. I mean, a lot. Super Mario Brothers. Like, it's done it's going to do $500 million just in the U.S. And there are so many big movies coming out over the next 7, 8, 9 months. And I think the box office in 24.
I think the box office.
I know the slate that's coming. I think the movies in 24 are going to even be bigger than the movies in 23. And like.
Yep, there he goes.
This movie Oppenheimer that Chris Nolan's making. That's right. It's fantastic. It's a story of the creation of the atom bomb back in the 1940s. Brilliant.
Oh.
The Indiana
Awesome.
Jones movie this summer is going to be so wonderful. The Mission Impossible movie that's coming out in July, I think it is. It's going to be so good. Did any of you see the?
He needs one of those combination
YouTube, the trailer of like Tom
bulletproof
Cruise,
vest /
motorcycle. He really did that.
girdles.
I showed him.
He's such a perfectionist. He wanted to get a really good shot.
But I don't care about the movies.
I don't know what the judge is going to do, so I hope.
Okay.
And the only thing we need is for the courts to approve the settlement, so we can implement all of this, and know that we've made it.
Wait, why is he not standing?
I don't know.
Why is he on the side? just realized that.
Yes, if she doesn't say yes, we'll bob and weave and do something clever, and we'll figure it out. We've figured out everything so far. Whatever they do, whatever the world throws at us, we'll figure it out.
Whatever they do. Did you hear that? Did you catch that? Whatever they do. Wow.
Do something clever, and we'll figure it out. We've figured out everything so far. Whatever they do, whatever the world throws at us, we'll figure it out. But I hope she sells it.
Whatever they do. No, go back to whatever they do. That the apes understand that. Close to exit doors.
And if she does,
God.
when she does, then I know we made it. And then we can just start focusing on the future. Like, what do we want to do with this company? There are a lot of movie theaters that we could still improve.
Agree, Model 3 dude.
There are a lot of
Agree
movie
with that.
theaters that we could acquire at very cheap prices. Because a lot of the other circuits are just
Well,
failing.
there he goes, talking about more acquisitions.
And there are some things we could buy outside the movie theater business if we had the financial resources to do it. And if we can sell stock to raise cash, we could buy other things too. So it's so exciting.
How about your freedom?
Playing offense again, which is what we were, the way we were running the company until 2019. But for the last 3 years, we've been playing defense. So we've been trying to protect against collapse as opposed to trying to do everything we can just to drive glory and success. And that's where we finally are, almost. As soon as we get through this last little hurdle of being able to implement the vote that you all approved 8812.
Right.
It's so close. But when that day comes, and there's, maybe it's May, maybe it's June, maybe it's July.
Oh my God, I hope it happens on June 2nd.
The question is, what do we do with your company then?
That would be
And I keep on saying
Friday.
Because you own it. Like, by the way, I own it too. I'm the largest individual shareholder of this company. And I love this company, and I'm very
But you
proud
didn't
of
buy
it.
your shares, so
And I'm
does that
very
really
committed
count?
to its future.
does it really count?
But I just think there are so many good things we can do to take AMC to the next level.
What do you say, Tony?
Do I think that's the case? I don't know. I don't really think that's the case.
Okay, yeah, me
So
neither.
exciting for me that we're going to be doing it together. That's why
Aw.
I'm here tonight. This is the 22nd one of these that I've done. And I've
Boy,
said
he's
it
got to
earlier,
be sick of this.
welcoming you earlier. Like, to me, this is the most enjoyable nights of the year. Because I know I'm doing all the talking now, but when we're done watching Mafia Momo, I'm going to be out there, and you're going to talk. And I'm going to talk to each one of you one-on-one and hear what you have to say.
And he'll be really blitzed by then.
It fills me with so much excitement and determination.
Blah, blah, blah.
And I don't only write the tweets, I read.
Yeah, you write the tweets. We know that. We've heard that for 2 years.
I think there are 32 NFL teams. Every team, every game.
Every team, every game.
Of all of professional sports, in 2019, the last year before the pandemic, America's movie theaters sold 7 times the number of tickets as all of professional sports combined.
Because
That's how
those,
popular moviegoing is. It is the second most popular out-of-home activity in the United States, second only to going out to
how many cities?
What America does, America goes to movie theaters. And because of you,
Have movie theaters
not only were they able to do that for the last 100
that
years,
don't have professional sports
they're gonna be
teams?
able to do that
A
for the
lot.
next.
Okay. I'm sorry, I can't watch any more of this. And it is interesting. I do feel like I was learning some, tactics, but let's I'll tell you what, let's do this. Because he's got a new video out. Jim Zavoldi. There he is right there. Look at this guy. Bam. That's Bam. Look at Bam. Bam. Okay. Here's the update from 2 days ago. I've waited all this time to do this. Hey, it's Jim. Hey, it's Jim Zavoldi.
Hey, this is Jim. It's 11:33 a.m. in San Francisco, California on April the 21st. Please note that all discussions, analysis, and information presented are for general informational and educational purposes only and should not be construed as financial or any other form of professional advice. I want to make a correction again on this volume that we're looking for here on a 60-minute bar closing basis. The problem was that TradeStation inaccurately showed a green bar that should have been a red bar, 60-minute bar. So the original number I gave everyone, 3.6 million shares, was and is correct. So what we want to see here is we want to see moving forward any hourly closing bar, and that applies to the final half hour of trading because the U.S. market opens on the half hour. We end up with that little stub 30 minutes of trading activity into the close each day. But if the volume runs 3.6 million shares or greater on that bar, that counts as a 60-minute bar as well. It'll show up on the chart and it counts. So again, the reason we want to see 3.6 million shares is because we had a previous red closing bar within this whole nesting setup here. A spike out of the nesting setup that was a red, so a bar that closed to the downside. So we want higher volume on a bar that closes to the upside, a green bar. 3.6 million. The other thing I want to show you guys really quickly is on the 240-minute chart that I showed a couple weeks back, I guess. We have two more pay me later levels that have been added to this.
Pay me later.
This remains valid setup on my side at least. So this is if the stock were to track into my zones of strength, this is the sort of opportunity zone here. The speed line, you guys can see the very sharp trajectory, and that's how we came up with this 1680 pay me later level from right here. On these two false re-entries that they were able to beat back down, we generated two more pay me later levels. So one at 24.45 and one at 28. And again, we talked about, the previous August high where Adam Aaron pounced.
I don't think this is how it works at all, but okay.
Stock's, been crushed ever since, obviously. That sets up really nicely with any potential speed line attack that would happen during either April or May. In other words,
speed line attack.
We would be back at that high or through it, depending on when the speed line is attacked. As a matter of fact, I think we'd be through it at this point. Yeah, we'd be through it, even if it were to happen, in a flash, which I'm not calling, but we'd be up toward $30 plus. So, matter of fact, I'll leave that on the on this chart, 30 plus on any attack.
Right. Okay.
Moving forward. The other thing I want to show you guys is on the 5-minute. This is the reason why this is such an explosive setup. Now, we have Friday options expiration and, tremendous amounts of money that these guys could make or lose. And they're in complete control as far as being able to manipulate the market. Especially in the lit exchange. But what we have here is we have
in the lit exchange
daily trigger and the hourly trigger at the 505 level. And then we have that air pocket up to this 581. So you see this note I added here of 421 equals a screaming buy. And that's because not only do we have this zone of strength out ahead of us right now, but because price was able to drop out of this expanding pattern below this yellow uptrend line, any move back above 505 with some velocity can slingshot through this air pocket and up to 581, at which point that would be re-entry into this expanding megaphone melt-up fractal. If you guys have never seen any of my videos or you're not familiar with behavioral analysis and my approach, this dotted white line is what I call a speed line. And it sits overhead. This yellow line is an uptrend line that marks this sort of megaphone pattern, this expanding megaphone melt-up fractal. It does not officially become a potential melt-up fractal until and unless price drops below that yellow uptrend line and then starts to re-enter on acceleration. If and when that happens,
So it hasn't
then
happened. So it's not
in the
an
past,
expanding
human nature has
megaphone
tended
melt-up
to
fractal.
create a fast market move
Okay.
and an attack of the speed line. This is basically a small version of the 1987 expanding megaphone crash fractal. And this just
What?
the same rules applied, but flipped upside down for a melt up
What
fractal.
the hell?
Anyway, you guys can see that we've got sort of another moment of
Is
truth.
this guy Uncle Rico? Is he living in the past? Is he living in 1987? And everything is a permutation or inverse mirror image of the 1987 meltdown, megaphone meltdown, crash fractal. I mean, oh, what the fuck?
Here
Jesus.
later in the day today for this Friday expiration. Obviously, they're trying as hard as they can to pin, and so far they're winning. But again, ape $1.61 is sort of where they could lose control anywhere above $1.61 today. We're right out of the gate on Monday morning, and then 505 for AMC. And again, they usually win in this situation. But I'm telling you, this is the most dangerous. This is the most dangerous setup for the shorts that I've seen since May 2021, when things were tracking the BAM model so well on an hour-by-hour basis. So potentially pretty interesting afternoon here, you guys. Good luck.
Oh yeah, it ended up being such just a absolutely riveting afternoon. Oh, yeah, sure did. And the fucking price closed at $4.99. Up 2 cents. Gotta love that. But it sucks for those $5 call holders. Okay, guess what? Uh T Barnum trade, also known as TD Ameritrade, there it is working again. What is this? Okay. So we got that back. That's good, I guess. And it means we can also look at the options for AMC. Actually, in the think back, we can go think back to Friday. And we could see damn. Although, look at that, $10. 172,000 open interest on that. Now, all those 235,000 $2 puts expired. So did the threes, 2 and 3, and 1. All those. Oh wow, it went up all the way up to 17, and there was 17 traded. Are you kidding me? Wow. Okay. I'm gonna change this to the Russell. Was on the Dow, but how can he say melting megaphone fractal and not laugh? It's a good question. Good question. Okay. So Brian Tuttle, links in the description. Okay, so
Hi, everybody.
all right.
Jeff Boston. Um, I hope everybody's well. And I just got home this morning and a little short of breath. And it's a tough one. It's a tough go.
Wh-
I'm making this video because
Where what? Is he sick? Please tell me he's dying. Please.
Brian Tuttle, um, this person, I can vouch for. I can vouch for him because I've been speaking to him intermittently for about 3 months. He filed a lawsuit in the Supreme Court of the United States against Allied Nevada Gold Corp, which is the it has to do with
Wow, this is even more
high
terrible than
craft.
usual.
Hycroft mining, and well, it was formerly known as Allied Nevada Gold, but here's the documents. It goes back to 2018, and that's how he got into the AMC play. The guy that everyone's talking about that has ties to Citadel is this guy. There's no relation that I'm aware of. How to land investments. They don't even look alike.
So he's saying that
Even
that's
close.
Brian Tuttle?
I
I don't think
don't think they're
so.
related.
I think he's wrong about this.
But
Manuel, what
that's
say
what I
you?
think.
But
I don't believe that. This guy in Citadel, they do work together in deals and acquisitions. So, but our Brian Tuttle, Daily Blend,
our Brian Tuttle's a
he has
loser?
got a tremendous amount of support.
I'm not so
and
sure
he's
about
got
that.
I would encourage you to watch this and opt out of this. That way you can actually get a class settlement.
Signing this does not opt you out. Did you hear that? Did you hear him mischaracterize what this
I would
is?
encourage you to watch this.
Watch it? Well, first of all, it's not a video.
And opt out of this. That way you can.
This is not opting out. This is not opting out. This is a respectful request to the judge that they be allowed to opt out. But it's not opting out. Brian Tuttle is a two-time bankrupt real estate developer. So who is the guy that he's showing with the sideways baseball cap and saying it's Brian Tuttle? I wonder. But yeah.
Actually get a class settlement in case there's a court issue afterwards, which there probably will be. I think it's being smart, protecting your investment, being judicious, just being smart overall. It's a smart money move. Give me some days.
Yeah,
I need to
right.
recover. My chest feels like it's been hit by a sledgehammer.
If only it had.
I just need some
Well,
time.
opt out requires there actually being a legal provision for you to do so. I don't think there was in their case, but wow, that's terrible. That's terrible. I hope he does not make it back to YouTube. Shit. That's all I said. I didn't say anything else. Didn't say why. I hope he doesn't. No provision, no postcard. That's what we used to say all the time. Okay. Oh, look, a petition. Petition. Here's Lou. Remember, both parties want to settle the lawsuit.
All right, so here's the deal. A lot of people are talking about the lawsuit going forward, and I get it. I get it because it's the pivotal, it's the most important thing because the judge has to decide, obviously, how this is all going to go down. She's going to have to say yes. It's just when, because this is all scheduling. That being said, Tuttle put out the letter / announce a motion, and I've had a chance to interact with him somewhat via email. I want to tell people something. Both parties are agreeing on a settlement. Now the judge has to work out the scheduling as far as like the process of it. She's probably going to wind up, reading everything, using it in her, her decision, whatever she does. But at a certain point, everybody has to accept the only way this is going to be blocked is if the judge finds something really wrong with APE or the process on how her court was used. Like, let's say, for example, hypothetically, if, let's say, I don't know, let's say Allegheny wasn't holding AMC when APE was created. Let's say they bought APE. Do you understand that kind of stuff afterwards? I don't know. I didn't look into it. It's the weekend. Neither do I give a shit at this point. I try to save my brain for like Monday through Friday type shit. With that being said, or just the simple fact that, APE should have never been sold on the open market, or APE should have been created.
I'll take the AMC shares, Ron, any day, because those could go up to an infinite number. Whereas if they pay you out, what, $4.99, that's $4.99, and it will never be more than $4.99. I'll take the shares. Okay, I'll take the shares. The shares. Thank you very much. Even though I'm not a party to the lawsuit, but yeah, I don't know. But she already shut down a divvy. Well, she didn't shut it down. She just said, no, you can't do it now. Like, we're not going to fast forward to that point. She didn't, as far as I know, she didn't like categorically deny the settlement. She just declined to implement it. On a speedy basis. But I could be wrong. I mean, but I thought that's what it was.
Created, or that, AMC and Popcorn sold APE at a lower price, the threshold. There's a couple of other things that have to be done.
Well, actually, Lynn, now that you mention it, it was actually.
What do you fucking want from me? Get off my dick!
It was get off my dick, but same
both
thing, I
parties
guess.
agreeing on the settlement, it kind of puts her in a very awkward spot, the Vice Chancellor. But I want to let people know something, because everybody's going to be listening on that call. And some people, they're going to hear things and going to interpret it in a different way.
Was this on Frank Nez? Did you read that on Frank Nez? I mean, I'm actually, serious because, no. Let me find it. I don't particularly like, so it was like around April 6th, I guess. Okay. So here's an article from Reuters. AMC Entertainment's $100 million settlement snafu is cautionary tale. Judges want their say. It's from April 6th. Guess who wasn't very happy about a proposed $100 million shareholder class action settlement that sought to sidestep court scrutiny of its most important provisions? The judge overseeing the case, that's who. Wednesday night, Vice Chancellor refused to go along with a plan that would have allowed movie theater operator AMC to resolve litigation over its novel equity restructuring. without waiting for the judge formally to approve the settlement. Zern said that AMC and the shareholders are sued the company, but now want to settle. Hadn't convinced her to ditch the procedural safeguards for class action settlements. Delaware's rules and case law requires judges to evaluate proposed shareholder class action settlements to make sure they're fair to all investors, not just the shareholders who brought the case. In nearly every case, Zern said, both sides are in a hurry to wrap up settlements once they've reached an agreement. But the particular circumstances of the AMC proposed deal, she said, don't justify a departure from the usual procedure. Class action approval procedures, notice to all the affected shareholders, an opportunity for class members to lodge objections, and a court ruling on the settlement's overall fairness. Both sides wanted to move fast. AMC is in a rush to complete the equity restructuring so that it can raise capital and pay down debt. Plaintiff's lawyers, meanwhile, told Zern in a motion filed Monday that a quick issuance of new stock to the pre-convergence common shareholders would lock in the value of those new shares. But AMC and the plaintiffs were restricted by a status quo order. Did not even bother to hold a hearing on whether to lift the status quo order before rejecting a request. Okay. So it wants to prevent so I guess the full process would, allow everybody to evaluate it and to ensure that it would be fair to other investors. She didn't want to sidestep that, but I don't know if she would. It doesn't seem like it was intentionally, or, it was actually that she thought that it was unfair. It was just to allow the process to proceed normally so that they could determine that. But I could be splitting a hair here. AMC's shareholders have been unusually vocal in Zern's docket, which includes letters to the judge from at least half a dozen common stock owners who are not parties in the case, but are incensed about AMC's planned share convergence. 2 of the letters were written by hand. I don't know why that matters, but I guess it shows zeal or something. But I'm amazed they didn't send it to arbitration. Maybe in Delaware there is no arbitration. I don't know. Judge can't even give the appearance of unfairness. So then in that case, if the extra time is to notify all the shareholders and, allow them to object and all that stuff, what is the point of all of these change.org petitions? I don't know. But everybody gets more shares, so I don't see how it would be detrimental to anybody. I mean, aside from, how it would be detrimental to everybody. I mean, all shareholders, she said, require judges to evaluate proposed shareholder class actions and make sure they're fair to all investors, not just the shareholders who brought the case. In nearly every, yeah, I read that a minute ago. In nearly every case, both sides are in a hurry to wrap up settlements once they've reached an agreement. the procedural safeguards for class action settlements. So it just needs to follow, it just need that they just don't want to rush it. Only the plaintiffs get the shears. I think it wouldn't it be, I thought it was, let's see, pre-conversion common stock. Owners of pre-conversion common stock who allege they are being shortchanged by the preferred share conversion. So I thought it was people who owned stock. No, that's pre-conversion though. So that would be any shareholders. If it's class action, that's everyone. It is class action. Oops. On behalf of themselves and all other similarly situated public stockholders of AMC Entertainment Holdings, bring this verified. Circumvent the current stockholders' voting rights by giving a new group of investors effective control of any vote, to force through charter amendments to radically increase the number of shares of AMC Class A common stock available for issuance. Institutions are public holders. The current common stockholder base, which has already twice voted down share increase proposals, has suffered the common stock price plummeting to roughly half in the past few weeks as investors belatedly learned of the board's weaponization of their power to issue blank check preferred stock to predetermine the outcome of the vote on these charter amendments. This type of undermining of the stockholder franchise in a manner that thwarts the current common stockholders' stated desires and will give the holders of a newly issued derivative security effective control over the upcoming vote, as well as a collective majority over future votes and economic returns, cannot be justified. Okay. So it talks about here, I don't know how they got by April 2021. Approximately 85% of AMC's stockholder base were retail investors, many of whom coordinated their investing strategies on Reddit boards, dubbing themselves the Reddit apes. I don't know if that's true. And let's see. April 2021, the company sought stockholder approval of a proposal to approve an amendment to the certificate to increase the total number of authorized shares of common stock by 500 million. Proposal was not well received by the stockholders, however, since they believed in the company's value and prospects, did not want to be diluted through new equity issuances, and may have had well-founded misgivings about the advisability of giving management so much, quote, dry powder to use equity to fund questionable investments. Before having to announce voting results, the board withdrew their proposed amendments. Not long thereafter, the board tried a smaller increase. In June 2021, it sought stockholder approval of a proposal to approve an amendment to increase the number of authorized shares of common stock available for issuance by 25 million. Again, the retail investors who had saved AMC during the COVID-19 pandemic opposed the proposal. In the face of stockholder opposition, the board withdrew this second proposal in July 2021. Nevertheless, the company remained financially healthy. Indeed, AMC had significant excess capital that it went out and bought a gold mine. Specifically, AMC paid $27.9 million for 23.4 million shares and an equal number of warrants of Hycroft Mining, a struggling public gold and silver mining company, in March 2022. Investors who previously used their voting powers to express reticence about giving Aaron too much leeway to use equity wastefully were surely flummoxed by this new investment. As a result of the purchase, AMC became the owner of approximately 22% of Wyckoff Mining. That investment has plummeted in value, further supporting common stockholders' suspicions about giving Aaron further common stock to squander. Having failed twice to secure approval, the board ensured it would not strike out, regardless of what its stockholders wanted. The key to the board's thwarting of the AMC stockholder franchise was the certificate's provision for up to 50 million shares of blank check preferred stock. Of course, while the existence of blank check preferred may have given the board a technical power to get creative with its capital raising techniques, their fiduciary duties never contemplated the board weaponizing this blank check to undermine common stockholders' voting powers and economic interests. This is just so silly because if you don't allow the company to raise money, how can you say that you have the I mean, it seems like garbage to me. What the board failed to sufficiently disclose when creating the preferred stock and transferring it to ComputerShare is that the board gave a voting instruction to ComputerShare that would allow the board to dictate the outcome of any proposal as long as they could entice holders of APES to support amending the certificate. Specifically, in connection with any stockholder vote in which APES are entitled to vote, ComputerShare would vote APES as instructed by their holders. However, with respect to APES held beneficially by investors who did not provide voting instructions, which would ordinarily be treated as broker non-votes on non-routine matters, ComputerShare would vote those shares on a mirrored basis in the same proportion as APE shares for which ComputerShare did receive voting instructions. As such, the deposit agreement effectively allows the company to sidestep the NYSE prohibition on brokers voting uninstructed shares on non-routine proposals. Okay. Like Agamemnon leaving a horse outside Troy's walls, the board had set in motion its end run around AMC stockholders' votes. I mean, this is colorful. So, like Agamemnon and the Trojan horse. Okay. Um, okay, I'm not going to read the rest of this here, but more like King Arthur leaving a Trojan rabbit outside the French castle. How else could he pass hush money without being obvious? True. Wyckoff shouldn't. Ron says he shouldn't have bought HYMC. Period. Yeah, that was pretty dumb. He should have bought Wyckoff with Class B shares or Adam Aaron's smelly, dirty sweater. Substantive allegations. Rocked by the pandemic, AMC is rescued by retail investors. Oh, Monty Python. Okay. Okay. Stockholders reject Aaron's compensation. AMC stockholders resoundingly rejected it in June 2022 in a non-binding vote. AA sweater should be kept in Kansas City Hard Rock Cafe. Did AMC get it? Any of that sweet government money while they were closed? I believe they did. Adam Aaron himself got quite a bit. What was that, Lynn? I know you talked about this before. Adam Aaron bonus 2020. No, it was 2020, so I want to make sure that I catch that. Here it is, I think. This is, see, he received a $3.75 million bonus at a time when many of the companies have been laid off. Aaron previously received a $1.25 million bonus in November. That would have been in November 2020. Okay, so yeah, it was higher. The one that I'm thinking of was also higher. I gotta limit the time on this. I gotta time constrain this here. Um, let's try that. Mm, stock compensation, is that what it was? Yeah, it was just it was the total compensation, I believe, maybe. Expand it out a little bit. Here it is. This is like pretty big. This is the headline that I saw this headline. AMC Entertainment CEO Adam Aaron's compensation doubled to 20.9 million in 2020 amid shutdown. That's the one that I think that's the same one that you're thinking of, Lynn. This was from March of 2021. He earned 20.9 million in total compensation last year. That's 2020. Double 9.6 million the year before due to a big bonus and stock awards. This is what we're talking about. It doubled. According to the company's SEC filing Friday, Aaron's package in 2000, I don't know why it says 2002. Obviously, that's supposed to be 2020. Included a base salary of 1.1 million, a bonus of 5 million, and a stock award of 14.8 million. When movie theaters closed in March, 2020, as the coronavirus took hold, AMC's top executives, including Aaron, agreed to cut their cash salary by 15% and decrease other compensation over 3 years in exchange for stock that will only vest if the price doubles or triples. Hmm. Retail investors in Reddit chat rooms in late January became champions of AMC stock as a kind of sidekick to GameStop, buying it aggressively. This set off a cascade of events that helped significantly reduce debt just as vaccines roll out and infection rates started falling. This is before 72. This is before 72. This is March. But he got the compensation. This was for calendar year 2020. So this came out in March. It was before. This is outrageous. The company is basically insolvent with a massive debt and no real assets. So instead of paying down the debt, he pays himself. Good luck with karma. And what the fuck did he do while there was no business during the pandemic year? Show up at his office, issue a few press releases, and get a few loans from banks. And for that, he gets 20 million. Personally, think he's robbing the company. No wonder us 99 percenters are so damn upset with American business, quote, moguls. All these comments are from March of 2021, too, by the way. He's got hedge fund money. Excuse me. How do shareholders not revolt? Something is so wrong about this. The company is teetering on the edge. Hundreds of millions in lease commitments and still empty theaters, and this clown takes home 20 million. Well, no, he didn't take home 20 million. Um, he was issued that like 14 million in stock. He couldn't sell right away. Agreed. Just wait till the new normal kicks in and ticket prices get raised to try to make back lost revenues due to COVID. I don't know anyone willing to go back to movie theaters anytime soon. So next year he'll probably make 40 million in total compensation. No, that didn't happen either. But, yeah, that's what I remember. Yeah. Okay. Now, some CEOs forewent their salaries in 2020, but no, AA did not do that. So anyway, Wall Street analyst Eric Wold interpreted the ruling as mainly related to the speed of the settlement, not necessarily its merits or terms. Preliminary junction hearing date is previously set for 427, is still on at this point, while it's not now. And we could be seeing an indication that the judge wanted the timeline to more fully run its course. An overwhelming majority of AMC shareholders voted for the measures at a special meeting last month. The proposed conversion are important for the company to be able to delever its balance sheet and maintain a viable financial position if the box office recovery falters. Okay.
Please understand,
Please understand.
both parties want to settle. Now, as
Both parties want to settle. Are we positive yet on the futures? Well, I mean, we know it's going to turn positive at some point. Let's just get it over with, shall we? This fucking market. Uh, almost. Almost. It's all right.
up to the Vice Chancellor to set a schedule going forward, how everything has to be done. People are going to say, no, it's not. We won or we lost. You know, listen, they're going to get this. There's a little wild card that AMC can do. I'm not talking about it. After this is done, I'll do the video where I actually thought they were going to get their shares for AMC without the reverse split or merger. But right now, they don't got it. But please understand, going into this court teleconference, we're going to hear both parties saying they're agreeing on this. It's going to affect the stock price because it's all like an emotional thing. There's still no shares hitting, but for the emotional shock value, and remember, we're fighting the street on this because when Popcorn reached a settlement, remember I'm never gonna. This is frivolous. We're gonna fight this. Next day, he's settling with them. Think about that. He had to approve that. He's the CEO. This is like Kong versus Godzilla. Remember that? Where the kids like Kong kneels to no one or fears no one. No. Half an hour later, the fucking monkey's half dead. They have to put like an oxygen mask on. They gotta shock his heart. Anyway,
Oh God, I love Lou.
When he found that 8K and the market moved and Ape, let's face it, you know, AMC went down, Ape went up. It was like there was no logic behind that. No shares were moved or anything, and all of a sudden it just boop perfectly. We're fighting a lot of forces, big forces in this. So understand that come Tuesday during that call, you're going to see some weird fuckery stuff because let's face it, this is AMC. But understand something going forward.
It is AMC after all.
Brian Tuttle seems like a nice guy. He put the letter out. He gave a lot of accurate information out there. We did our letters. The Vice Chancellor, I'm sure, read a lot of the stuff based on her decision the other day regarding to protect, you know, the other shareholders. But that being said, do not be shocked if she cancels out all motions or, you know, like, what's the word? Not the, I'm saying cancel. If she dismisses all the motions and turns around and starts the process of doing a scheduling for settlement. Stay loose, stay sexy, stay cool. We're not going to get a reverse split on Tuesday, so relax. Neither we're going to get it on Wednesday morning. That's not the way it's going to work out. The judge is still going to have to hear everything, decide, and put out an order afterwards. This is not going to be done live like that. So the purpose of this is relax. The total motion, letter motion did a lot of good. It woke up a lot of people. I'm sure it helped the Vice Chancellor make some decisions on it. Our letters did a lot of things as well, but she is overseeing two parties that are looking to settle. And at the end of the day, that's what's going to wind up happening. It's just a time frame. So stay calm, okay?
Damn straight he knows how court works. Damn straight he does. Clock is right twice a day. That's Lou. That is Lou. That's Lou for you. Congress. Oh yeah, Congress. Ace in the hole. Who's ready to win? We are closer than ever. Oh my God, 49 minutes. MMTLP, Next Bridge, SEC whistleblowers paid $12 million. Really?
To cover another fantastic article from Mr. Frank Nez. And
oh my God,
here is saying the SEC awards more than $12 million to whistleblowers. Now, this is a very great article that has a lot of detailed information here about the SEC whistleblower program. Now, why are we covering this? Because this could be something that is very well could possibly help the MMTLP situation if we could get a whistleblower to come in and help us talk about
like somebody from MMAT or the other, yeah, says, yeah, they were talking about selling their MMTLP shares.
What's going on behind the scenes? Let's get in this article. Let's cover it, and let's hear the details of previous cases and kind of how much was awarded. There's a huge reward for whistleblowers, and if we could get one here in MMTLP, there could be possibly a huge payoff for someone to come up and step up and do the right thing. So let's get here to it. Here it says,
get here to it.
Awards more than 12 million to whistleblowers. It's published April 19, 2023, and we got the whistle there with the
well, you know what the thing is, though. The thing about that is that it came out on March 31st, 2023. See, this is what you get with these clowns like Frank Nez. Yes, he wrote about it on April whenever. When was it? April.
Million to whistleblowers. It's
April.
Published April 19, 2023.
So nearly a damn month later, Frank Nez writes a shitty article about it. But here it is from the SEC. And that's all it says. The first whistleblower prompted the opening of an investigation, provided information on violations, which would have been otherwise difficult to detect. This whistleblower identified key witnesses. They'll receive $9 million. And then the second whistleblower submitted important new information during the course of the investigation and will get $3 million, more than $3 million. No money has been taken or withheld from harmed investors to pay whistleblower awards. Okay, SEC protects the confidentiality of whistleblowers. And yeah, that's that. So I don't know what this guy's talking about.
Whistle there with the SEC logo on it. All right. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has reported that it has awarded more than $12 million.
Okay, yeah, we already know about this now. We already know all this. We already read it.
Actions posted. Number 5 is the whistleblower files the claim.
Wow. Okay.
Solution of violations. SEC did not provide any further information or details about the violations.
Well, no shit, they didn't. We saw that on the press release here. Almost 3 weeks before Frank Nez wrote this article.
The agency had awarded more than $12 million to the whistleblowers. According to the SEC,
yep,
to 30% of the money collected when monitoring.
We saw all that in there.
$14 million award, September 15, 2020.
Don't care.
We can get a whistleblower to pop up here for our MM.
I hope there's a whistleblower and that it is basically blowing the whistle on Berta and the other slime balls. That would be fantastic. Be careful what you wish for, dude. Be careful what you wish for. Let's go back to Lou then. He's talking about Mullen. Here it is. Here's the warning. Here's the warning.
All right, this goes out to the people in Mullen. I want to tell you something. One, I don't trust Mullen, the company. Let me just tell you that. I'm going to tell you straight off the bat. The fact that one time they wanted to do a reverse split, to consolidate, then they wanted to expand and dilute, and then at the end of the day, some technology that they were talking about, I don't know if it materialized or not, and all of a sudden now it's this deal, some Saudis and stuff like that. Put all that shit to the side. I want to tell you something. Mullen is one of those stocks that falls in line with the Bed Bath & Beyonds, the AMCs, the GameStops. It is one of those stocks where the street has created.
You mean it's a shit stock? Is that what you mean? It's a shit stock.
Synthetics in it. Does Mullen have the capability? Yes, it does. Mullen does have the capability. But I want to tell everybody out there, please, in this environment, be very careful when you start to see the dips in it, because I don't trust a fucking thing in this market anymore. I don't trust Mullen, the corporation, as far as the way they did their stock. I think this could have been cleaned up a long time ago. and all of a sudden some Saudi type whatever, and the deal, and I get it. I just have one of those feelings. So when my spidey senses go the fuck off, I just want to put out the warning out there, okay? Giant love and good luck. But remember, the street knows people are coming on Monday in order to load up for, you understand? The street knows. They have advance warning. That means that they are going to be planning ahead of everybody. That's just how they are. So good luck, everybody.
Shit, sorry. Yep, click the button. Who in their right mind cares who Lou doesn't trust, right? So I noticed it said 3.4 billion here, but when I went to the statements, we have a different number. So I don't know what's up with that, but then here it says 3.79. Look at that. I mean, in 2021, they had 5 million shares. Now they have over a billion. It's over 3 billion. Now moving into the Mullen scam. That doesn't look like a scam to me. Look at that. Oh my God. This fucking thing has been around this long too. I mean, wow. Oh, we're getting so close. We're only down 0.15% now. Russell's still down 0.22%, so 0.2, but I mean, look at the dollar. It's just taking a shit. With crude coming back up. And of course, because they have the dollar linked. I mean, if only it worked that way. If only it really worked, the real world worked that way. If only prices were adjusted on everything if based on the dollar exchange rate. But you know, but stocks have to do that. Okay. How about we pop over to Reddit, see what's happening here? They're waking up. Oh no, we saw that earlier. D&D, cool. Parking lot is packed. If your mindset was MOAS or bankruptcy, look at what happened to Bed Bath & Beyond. All the back and forth about fundamentals not mattering was complete nonsense. I know a couple of people who lost everything with Bed Bath & Beyond. Oh, I am not promoting that ticker for obvious reasons, but we need to learn from their mistake and help AMC improve their fundamentals in any way possible. I can imagine that the funds that shorted the stock replenished their stockpile. Apes are doing what we can, going to movies, buying food and popcorn, and holding underwater. Holding underwater does nothing to help the company. I don't know why they think that they're helping. I'm not an AA basher per se. However, he and the board needs to help with all the shenanigans going on with the stock. Denying any wrongdoing with the ticker is BS. But the problem is that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What he needs to do is issue more shares. See? Well, one good thing about AMC having a way better chance of survival, there isn't other places to watch blockbuster movies on a big screen with awesome concessions. Oh no, yes, there's no Regal, there's no Cinemark, they all went out of business. There's no smaller theater chains. Yeah, AMC is all you got left. What are you talking about? Bed Bath & Beyond had bigger companies come in and take all their business with online shopping. AMC had streaming services come in and take all their business with online streaming services. Can't online shop movies until AMC has already made bank on them. Not true. Strong fundamentals eliminate the possibility of bankruptcy, which is necessary for the shorters to win. No, it's not. No, it's not. There are some who think strong fundamentals are irrelevant, seem unnecessary. Or MOAS, they're wrong. We've already seen that they can kick the can and prevent MOAS for a very long time. Weak fundamentals would have played right into their hands and ensured MOAS never happens. So MOAS will never happen. Weak fundamentals, that's what you got now. When my towel stock FUD hits my movie stock sub, that's when it's time to double down. No? Okay. While this is still a squeeze play, it's clear the bad actors are well enough equipped to ride this out because they can hold off for years to shake out enough paper hands and allow the targeted company to bleed out. Let's make no mistake about it, AMC is still bleeding. And Bed Bath & Beyond is the most effective FUD we could see. As part of the meme basket, this is a blow that can drive to a lot of doubt. This ends one of three ways. AMC earns consistent profit and the short thesis dies. They would have to start earning profit first. The dam finally breaks and a criminally caused squeeze occurs. Criminally caused in terms of the apes trying to cause it? I agree. Or the bad actors waited out and AMC goes bankrupt. The latter is the far less likely scenario in my head. Bed Bath & Beyond was dying. AMC is growing. AMC is growing. This is BS. Definitely a shill. They sell towels. We sell an experience that is woven into the fabric of society and has been for centuries. Centuries? Plural. No. Oh, and we're the biggest theater company in the world with a backing of many loyal shareholders. Yeah, a backing of many loyal shareholders who have no idea what it actually means to be an investor and to support a company. No earthly idea. European ape. No wonder. No wonder. Who let these people in? Chapter 11 being used as a debt restructuring spinoff is not the same as Chapter 7. This is FUD, and shills have been writing the fuck out of this narrative. Yeah, I I don't think so. I think this is the end for Bed Bath & Beyond, and you know what? It should be. Here's the thing, though. I and many others called out Bed Bath & Beyond since August. We saw it for what it was. We saw it for what it was. Bed Bath & Beyond wasn't a staple of American culture. It's just another retail store, an overpriced one. I remember going in there in my earlier years. Okay. I don't think fundamentals are how a market works, but you do need to make money to continue operating without fucking shareholders. The market is rigged, though. It's plain as daytime and time again. It's very much rigged. What I'm worried about Bed Bath & Beyond going under, besides me having a couple shares, finally officially be worthless, is Bed Bath & Beyond was one of those assets that Citadel listed as unrealized. With Bed Bath & Beyond now bankrupt, all that value suddenly becomes realized and goes on to Citadel's ledger. My question is, how many more bullets does this give Citadel, and how much money are they now able to use to survive to delay MOAS? Imagine thinking this. Imagine this is something that you're worried about. What I'm worried about, Bed Bath & Beyond going under. I mean, with all due respect, you you are worrying about the wrong shit. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Imagine that. I just can't even imagine that. Went to AMC for the first time since investing in 2021. Better than I remembered. Okay. The stream makes me feel like I'm very smart. Doesn't make me feel that way. It makes me feel freaking very, very sad for the future. Sound choppy. Uh-oh. What are they doing to me now? Well, let's put on another video then. Really? These guys suck, man. This is all there is.
I want to start off this video by number one, thanking all of you guys for showing support and positivity down below in the comment section, because that's the only real feedback that I get on a broad scale. If we're talking thousands of people that watch most of these videos,
shut the fuck up.
Unless you
I don't care.
Next thing, the next catalyst, the next bullish event, the next bearish event for that matter. I just want to say thank you. I videos and I have another full-time job. Let's be honest. I mean, I make a lot more from that. This is more or less a hobby and a passion. And for the amount of work that goes into it, it's not fairly compensated. And I just want people to kind of realize that. And, you know, when you're going to write that negative comment, realize it's not worth it in the grand scope of things to get the kind of hate and feedback. People that make these videos, for the most part, in this community, are doing it because they love the community. Now, that's not the reason why I started making YouTube videos. The reason I started making YouTube videos is because, to be quite honest with you guys, might sound stupid. December 27th, 2020.
Yes, you do.
There was a lot
Model
going
3
on,
dude.
obviously, in the markets, and nobody in my personal life wanted to talk about the markets. Nobody invests in stocks. Nobody invests in real estate. I own several rental properties, and portfolios.
When I say
right?
hedge funds are,
nobody was interested in that. So I figured this was the best way that I could communicate with other people and kind of get this off my chest, for lack of a better word. This is kind of like therapy to me in a weird way, I guess, if you want to call it that. This is my passion. This is my hobby.
Okay. Can we get all this bullshit out of the way?
How long revenue? Look.
Wow.
But look at this. AMC lost 4.5 billion in big blockbuster at about 5 losing money. Now, description of this video in the trading community. So, first things first, I want to start off with this, and I kind of paraphrase the comment because I just spent like the last 20 minutes trying to find the comment and I could not. But it was a very sincere comment, and I do want to acknowledge it to the best of my abilities. So, AMC, yes, they've been losing money. Now, Adam Aaron forecasts the AMC will be free cash flow positive in 2023. Now, free cash flow positive is important because that means they are able to sustain the business. Now, if we're looking at full years here, this is the annual balance sheet of AMC. Sales and revenue look pretty good. Since 2019, that came in at about $5.5 billion, and it really was around $5.5 billion for like years. I mean, this is crazy. The difference between 2018 and 2019's overall revenue numbers was 10 million. It was a very consistent business at the very least. And then COVID hit and you dropped to about $1.25 billion. 2021, $2.5 billion. 2022, $3.9 billion. 2023, I would imagine, is going to be around 4.5 to as high as 6 billion. That would be, or 5.5 billion, basically back to pre-COVID levels. If these films that are going to theaters kind of meet the expectations that we have for them. And even a lot of second tier movies that have come out recently, that come out in between big blockbuster films, have done very well in 2023. So I don't think this is going to be a big concern in the grand scope of things. This number will go higher, likely well into the mid, $4 billion range. So I think that's a positive, right? Business fundamentally improving on the top line revenue numbers. Now, the problem that I really see here in the balance sheet, and this is the income statement to be more precise, is the where is it? Obviously, net income. If you look at these numbers, AMC lost 4.5 billion in 2020. They lost 1.2 billion in 2021. 974 million in 2022. Still, that's far too much. Now, their interest expenses are very high.
Don't say.
It comes in at about $379 million for 2022, but they would still be negative around $600 million for full year 2022. Now, 2022 is interesting because you did not have that many films that went to movies or theaters that were big movies. Now, I think these numbers are going to look a lot better in 2023. But look at this, the EBITDA. So this stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. That came in at positive 9 million for 2022, which is very minuscule, right? On a quarter by quarter basis, divide that by 4, you're looking at like $2.2 million per quarter. They were EBITDA positive. Now,
great. Good for Adam Aaron.
Is really what you need to see flip. EBIT, earnings before interest and taxes. That was negative $387 million. Now, I think this is going to be a positive number in 2023, and it all comes down to obviously how well the box office does. But I do think they're much closer to a sustainable level. Now, sustainable level is the domestic box office hitting around 10 call it between $9 and $11 billion. That's really the number that AMC needs. AMC, the movie theater industry, is not quite there yet. But when we get free cash flow positive, which will happen in 2023, that's when some of these bankruptcy concerns will start to kind of go away. And I do expect that to happen in 2023. Now, the comment specifically that was posted on the video said AMC only roughly has about 3 quarters worth of cash left. So by November, they would be running out of money. Now, kind of not, depends how the box office actually does do, but they're not in dire financial straits right now. Yeah, the situation doesn't look too well, but I think they're doing what they can to get to a free cash flow basis. And I think we've seen that, and I think we'll continue to see that. And if we don't get the reverse split, if we don't get these proposals, right, to let AMC raise a lot of capital, number one, the share price of AMC is going to go a lot higher from here, right? And AMC will be able to extract some equity and capital out of that rally, and that would definitely help AMC be able to sustain itself until they are free cash flow positive. But I do think they will be free cash flow positive in 2023, so that's really not something I like to kind of worry about all too much. I think we'll be okay in that regard. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at the Ortex data, give you guys a brief rundown. Estimated short interest of free float sitting at $678.08 million. Estimated short interest of free float at 26.42%. Free float out on loan at 37.45%. 193.4 million shares that are currently out on loan. 5.26 days to cover with a utilization 7.45%, 193.4 million shares that are currently out on loan.
It says 176. I don't know. Oh, yeah, right there. Okay,
days to cover with a utilization.
They changed the way it looks again.
100%. Cost to borrow rates. If we look over here,
it's only 300.
6% on the low end. Cost to borrow average at 351%. Cost to borrow max at 364%. So numbers looking very good and very healthy over here. And you do have 135.88 million.
I mean, you can't hype these numbers though.
Shares that are currently sold short, like we have very well reported to you guys over the last couple of videos, last couple of days. Short sellers have lost about $1.91 billion just to cost of borrow fees alone in 2023, not to mention the fact that AMC stock has rallied higher. So you're seeing a lot of pressure put here. And
then why aren't they causing a short squeeze?
There's going to be a lot of pressure on Tuesday. If the judge does not side with AMC and this arbitrage trade and the shorts here, and they side with retail investors and they delay the court process, or they give us another vote or something else, that's going to be a very bullish catalyst for AMC stock. And we'll talk about that a little bit more once we get to an actual price prediction. Now, we're going to go over my base case scenario, best case scenario,
base
and
case
worst
scenario
case scenarios here in this video as well. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the Stock O tracker data, because obviously April 28th going to be a very large and important option expiration, and you're looking at about 2,000 calls currently in the money, 96,000 calls that are out the money.
Wow. I can't even believe that he's talking about this. That's ridiculous. 2,000 calls in the money, 96,000 out of the money. Great.
46,000 puts in the money, and 232,000 puts that are out the money. Now, I do expect this option expiration to populate quite a bit after Tuesday in kind of both directions. And I think it's going to be a fairly bullish week. I've been very clear on that. So I do think there's a very strong possibility to see a lot of calls go through and to get you that upside move. Now, if we go ahead and switch gears just a little bit and get into kind of some of the broad market things that will be happening this week, we're going to go over the major catalyst here, because I don't want to spend too much time in this. I really want to get to the price prediction, some of the technical levels as well. You got some bond auctions that come out Monday, 10:30 in the morning, the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index. Now on Tuesday, you get the S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index year over year, And month over month, new home sales as well as Dallas Fed services and a 2-year bond auction. This data comes out early in the morning around 10:30 in the morning. Now, Wednesday, you're going to get durable goods orders month over month for March coming in at 8:30 in the morning. And that's basically going to do it. Now, Thursday, you're going to get the GDP growth rate quarter over quarter advanced numbers for Q1. Now, markets are currently expecting a 2.3% GDP print. And if this comes in lower than that, you're going to have some big problems, because the whole premise of partially the stock market rally so far is people are like, hey, we're not seeing GDP going down. It does not look like we're going into recession, when a lot of the data we've seen has been very contractionary. So I think any of these data points that are kind of feeding into a
like all the Japanese ones. Yeah, let's keep Japan on there.
AMC's narrative, or making the markets go
Good
down,
job.
causing some of this collateral crisis that we've talked about extensively
Collateral crisis
over the last couple of days, will feed into that narrative of AMC and likely help to send us higher, especially if your large tech stocks do take a beat down off some of this data. They're highly collateralized in those AMC short positions. A lot of hedge funds are not putting up cash for their AMC short positions. They're putting up bonds. They're putting up tech stocks. Your safe,
how do we know this?
Quote unquote safety trades. Your safety tech stocks like an Apple, I believe, is very
safety
much
tech stocks
collateralized in these AMC short.
This guy is so clueless.
Positions, or for these AMC short positions. Now, 8:30 in the morning on Friday. This is going to be a very, very big day. You are going to get the core PC price index month.
Yeah,
now,
right, of course.
If we get into an actual price prediction and look at key levels with AMC stock, now AMC is a clear and obvious uptrend ever since you did kind of wick down.
Clear and obvious uptrend. Oh yeah, looks that way.
April 4th, when you kind of fell quite a bit. Right here, 23.5%. It says pretty rough day overall. You instantly bounce straight back, and you've been in this uptrend. You've been finding a lot of resistance around that 50 and 100-day moving average, and I do expect that to be the case heading.
You've been in an uptrend, but you're finding resistance. I mean, how can you be in an uptrend and finding resistance? I'm not sure.
Tuesday. Now, Tuesday is going to be that big moment. Now, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. You got to look at Monday. If tomorrow is bullish, then I think that's pretty good indication that someone somewhere knows something, and you might get a very bullish Tuesday as well. If Monday is deep in red territory, let's say you fall down to like $4.60 per share, then I would be a little bit more negative heading into Tuesday. But as of right now, it looks pretty dang bullish. You can see just an overall uptrend from here. And I think if we were to get bad news, you're probably going to hang out in this range. You're probably going to see a pretty substantial red day on Monday. So that's the number one thing that I'm going to be watching out for. Now, on a best case scenario kind of basis, right? I think it's very well possible that AMC stock could rally, call it 50% on Tuesday, call it another 25%, give or take, throughout the rest of the week, because you're going to have some ups, you're going to have some downs, likely, or it just starts the MOAS. But I don't want to get too crazy in the realms of possibility, but that is a possibility as well. Let's just call it a 75% rally is kind of the best case scenario here. That would put the stock at almost $9 per share. That would be a very good week. Keep in mind, when margin calls actually happen, you usually have around 3 days to 3 to 5 days. Hedge funds can get preferred kind of preference, so they might get it like
preferred preference
10 days. So you could actually see a bullish event with AMC that could actually take a little bit of time to get shorts massively covering on their short positions. It doesn't take a lot of shorts covering to get a 75% rally. Let's be honest here. 2-3% of the float covering would probably get you 150% rally from here, based off of
what? Okay.
Days to cover, based off of the kind of
days to cover
that you would see at the same time.
What does that have to do with shit?
The option activity, right? The failure to deliver. So all the other bullish things, playing into AMC.
5 million shares would cause a 150% rally. 5 to 10 million shares. Are you kidding me? Okay. Jesus Christ. All right.
Tuesday goes well.
Sure.
not a lot of the float will actually have to be covered to get you a pretty big rally. So I think even next week, or not this upcoming week, but the week after that would be very bullish as well if you've seen a bullish reaction after Tuesday. Now, my base case scenario.
Give me a fucking break.
I've talked about this before. My base case scenario is for a revote of common stock. Now, a revote of common stock probably ends you around $7 by the end of the week, probably around this 200-day moving average, which is currently at $7.03 per share. And that would be a rally of about 41-ish% from where we currently are. That's kind of my base case scenario.
Uh-oh. Trouble in paradise. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. I mean, not by much, but I mean, we're down more than we've been down today. And we got some volume coming in. A little bit of volume coming in here and at 8 o'clock here. So now, of course, yeah, anyway, now the Russell's down 0.37%, the NASDAQ's down 0.27%, and so is the, oh, we gotta have the ES up here. What am I thinking? The ES, the S&P is down 0.25%. Okay. Trouble in paradise, maybe.
Scenario for this week. Keep in mind, I could be wrong. Now, if I'm wrong and the courts kind of side with AMC and say AMC was fine, the settlement can go through. We're going to open this up for comments, but we're going to lift the status quo order so you guys can do the reverse split. In that case, AMC
don't think that's going to happen so quickly.
Back to about $4.25 per share. That would be kind of the worst case scenario. Well, kind of my base case, worst case scenario. The ultimate worst case scenario would be about $3.75 per share, going back to the lows that we seen in early 2023. That's the absolute worst case scenario. Kind of what I would expect to happen if we get the judge siding.
That's his worst AMC case, okay.
Would be around $4.25 per share, $4.30 per share in this range, which would be a sizable drop. I mean, in all reality, that would be a drop of about 15.5%. From here, granted, if Monday is red, it could be an even larger drop, right? But like I said, my base case scenario is another revote of common stock at the very minimum. That could push us to around $7 per share. Fairly easy in my personal opinion, guys. So let me know, what is your best case, base case, worst case scenario for this upcoming week? Thank you guys for watching. Again, thank you guys for being positive.
Yeah, right. Light up those comments, Model 3 dude. Okay, last video.
Hey, H, what it do?
Oh, God.
It's me, Brandon. Oh, woo-hoo. Whoa. Oh, whoa. Just kidding. Honestly, just pooped a little. Anyways, let's talk about cost to borrow. I'm sure you've seen it, especially when it comes to AMC. It's high as heck. Heck, I say. Now, why is that? Well, stay tuned. Let's find out. The cost to borrow, also known as the borrowing rate or interest rate, is determined by the supply and demand of loanable funds in the market. The market for loanable funds is where lenders and borrowers interact to exchange money in the form of loans. The following is a brief explanation of how the supply and demand for loanable funds affects the cost to borrow. Okay, so this is my poopy diaper. God damn it, Kamala, throw my poops in the trash. You're embarrassing me.
I mean, how?
Sorry about that.
Like, okay, yeah, we get it. We get that, you know, I mean, what? This to me diminishes the credibility of anything. Like, it's just stupid. But I guess maybe there's an argument like, no, your audience is retarded, so.
Folks, sorry, just pooped again. Anyways.
Jesus Christ.
The supply of loanable funds comes from individuals, companies,
Next time they say that, I'm turning it off.
The amount of supply increases as the interest rate offered on the loans increases. This is because higher interest rates incentivize.
I mean, what did he do? Copy this from documents that are talking about loaning money? I'm talking about securities, right?
People to lend out their money, which increases the overall supply of loanable funds. Now let's talk about demand, as in, I demand you vote for me in 2024. Hey, just kidding, kinda. The demand for loanable funds comes from individuals, companies, and governments who need to borrow money. the amount of demand for loanable funds decreases as the
we're talking about stock, right?
On the loans increases. This is because higher interest rates make it more expensive for borrowers to borrow money, which decreases the overall demand for loanable funds. Now let's get into equilibrium. The cost to borrow is determined by the equilibrium point where the supply and demand for loanable funds intersect.
Just like every supply and demand curve.
The amount of money being supplied by lenders is equal to the amount of money being demanded by borrowers. The cost to borrow for a stock is affected by the supply and demand for that stock in the market. When there is high demand for borrowing the stock and limited supply, the cost to borrow can increase significantly. This could be due to a variety of reasons, including short selling activity or hedging strategies employed by market participants. Short selling refers to the practice of borrowing shares of a stock from another investor, selling them on the open market, and then buying them back later to return to the original lender. Short selling is often used by investors who believe that the stock's price will decline in the future, allowing them to profit from the price difference. When short selling activity increases, the demand for borrowing the stock increases, which can drive up the cost to borrow. Similarly, hedging strategies that involve borrowing shares of a stock can also increase the demand for borrowing and drive up the cost to borrow. For example, a hedge fund may borrow shares of a stock as part of a strategy to reduce risk exposure to a particular sector or market. If many investors are using similar hedging strategies, the demand for borrowing the stock can increase, driving up the cost to borrow. In an efficient market, the cost to borrow should eventually reach an equilibrium point where the supply of the stock available for borrowing matches the demand for borrowing, resulting in a fair price to borrow. However, if there is significant short selling or hedging activity, the cost to borrow may remain high for an extended period of time until the market adjusts to the new supply and demand dynamics. Now here's a nifty little chart. It allows you to see the historic short volume on a chart, as well as the by exchange short volume percent. As you can see here, the average short amount has been relatively consistent for quite some time, around 56 to 58%.
Motherfucker, and I had it muted. Short volume, really? Short volume. Why are you talking about short volume? Oh my God, he really is retarded. It's April 2023, and this clown is talking about short volume. Wow. I am actually surprised.
% of the daily volume shorted.
Wow.
This is likely the cause for such a high borrow cost, as the
Give me a
demand
fucking break.
persistent while the supply has been increased slowly over time. Despite the numerous outstanding shares increases from AMC, the cost to borrow still remains high, likely due to the fact that more investors are piling into the stock. Now, this is not a metric you want to use in order to see upside movement. Again, the short volume has been so high for so long, like me, that a high cost to borrow makes sense due to AMC's current supply and demand dynamics.
Short volume has no bearing on cost to borrow. Or what are you talking about? And he said he's been high the whole time, of course. I mean,
Now, whenever the reverse split takes effect, depending on the ratio of the split, these supply and demand dynamics should change. I'll talk more about that in another video. The cost to borrow for a security can be high for a number of reasons.
Here's ChatGPT.
Demand, supply of the security risk, and the prevailing interest rate. The cost.
Yeah, it's all the same shit that you've already said, bro. Come on.
You already knew the answer.
Wait, hold on.
As well as other factors such as risk and interest rates. So basically, in essence, you already knew the answer. Crime, crime, crime. Oh. Crime time special, baby. Let's get him, Gary. Go gay. Go Gary. Go Gary. Go Gary. Anyways, yeah, that's cost to borrow for you. Gay dad, out.
What an idiot. God damn it. All right. Hey, I like the way this is looking, though. I'm digging this. Sweet. Scotty's going to be rich next week. All right. Well, that's about all I've got time for this evening. Thanks for being here and being on the other stream. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also join the finance chat. Whoops, not that one. Wrong one. Links in the description. Also new in Telegram is groups or subgroups, subgroup chat thing. So yeah, we got some changes going on over there, but it's all good. So I'll see you there. Until then, stay classy, San Diego. All right, here it is.
Roll another blunt, man.